I was born and bred in Ladysmith. I was born in a family of 8.
Wow.
And I've got 27 now, 27 nephews and nieces.
That's very interesting. That's a large family.
It is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if we're having like a function, we don't need to invite anyone
No.
because it's okay to pay nyama.
Was it a very musical family? Was there a lot of music and art going on in the family?
I sang in the church choir, so I think that's where my love for music actually started. And I don't remember wanting to be anything else. You know, my dad was like, you have to be a lawyer, I want you to be, but I was just like, it's not me. You know, I tried an office job, I did admin reception, and I kind of ran away from work. I said I was taking leave, and then 3 weeks later, they were like, yo, are you still coming back? And I was like, actually, no, I'm not, because I'd actually taken a contract to do cabaret. So yeah.
That's incredible. I've
Yeah.
never actually met somebody who's done cabaret. What was
Yeah.
that like?
It was absolutely amazing. I think it teaches you a lot about showmanship. You know, that the costumes are important, that the lighting is important, that the sound is important. So it teaches you to actually respect your audience, and that's what I love about cabaret also. And I think I found myself when I broke out of my shell more when I started doing cabaret. So for me, that was fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to art school? Did you do it academically? Any dramatic arts?
I actually went to Wits and I studied the ADA for like 2-3 years, and then I dropped out because of financial circumstances with my family. They couldn't afford, so I had to drop out of school. But I did study a bit of drama, TV production, film visual, and yeah, dance. I was crap then because I can't do all these contemporary stuff. I was like trying to like stretch me at 18, 19 is not gonna work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you tried. You tried to push yourself in that direction. And
And
it didn't
then
work
I didn't
out.
make it.
Yeah. You learned something from it.
Yeah, I
right?
did. I did.
Tell us about this role that you've just taken on in Red Room.
Yeah.
Tell us about the character that you play, if you resonate with her in any way.
The character that I play is Hindile. Her background story is more similar to where I come from. Ukulele Makaya, she does not know really much about the big city, and she gets a job basically, but she doesn't know that the job that she's getting herself into, she's actually being human trafficked. And then she struggles with like trying to cope with it, and eventually she decides that she's actually going to commit suicide. And then throughout the movie I actually play a ghost who is the subconscious of the main character, played by Khanyi Mbau, to try and warn her of the place that she's in and that it's not what she really thinks it is. And basically the overall theme of the movie is just women taking back their power, and also highlighting that women are actually the face of poverty, and that's why you will find a lot of women being prone to go into prostitution. So yeah.
That's very interesting. It's
Yeah.
very intricately deep, and it sounds very intellectual as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
What drew you to the role? Is there something about it that you felt like, oh, this resonates with me, I have to be a part of it?
I think at that time I was also going through my own stuff, and so I think that's why I resonated with the role. You know, she figured that the only way she could get out of the situation she was in was to try and commit suicide. But I realized then that if I do what my character has done, then I would have been silencing the next woman. And so for me, I felt that, you know, that was probably God's way of redirecting my thoughts of where my life could go after that. Yeah. And I'm very excited about it. It's actually the first South African thriller, so
Yes.
I did it first.
Yes, girl. And what do you hope that audiences are going to take away from the movie?
Hoping that they're going to take away that we as women need to take back our power, because eventually at the end of the day, that's like the overall theme of the movie, that we need to take back our power.
Do you you have any advice for young women trying to navigate their sexuality in a positive way? Because it is so there's such a stigma around sexuality with young girls. We're really afraid of expressing our sexuality. Is there any advice that you have for young girls that are trying to navigate that in a healthy way?
I think for me, it's not even advice for the young girls. I think it's for the people that are part of the primary socialization of women into society, letting them know that it's okay to express their sexuality. You know what I mean? And I think for me, that's what I would rather speak to the parents, because don't make it a subject that is so taboo that it's difficult for me as a girl child to come to you to say, hey, this is what I'm going through, this is what I'm experiencing. So I think it started at the primary socialization level, and then take it from there.
Your role models in acting, in drama, and in music as well, because you are very musical and you have a career in music.
Yeah.
Who are your role models, and who are the people that you feel impacted your craft the most?
I am a really big fan of Viola Davis. Yeah. I've always been such a fan of her work, because for me, she can take any role and she can make it look good. She's an actor, not an actress, so she can play any character she wants to, and she always challenges herself, and she doesn't take roles that are like her, if you know what I mean, like typecasting. She never takes the role that boxes her into like a typecast. So that's what I love about Viola.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And musically, who would you say?
Sheesh. I have actually a lot of people. I listen to a lot of people. I listen to country music. So I listen to reggae, I listen to R&B, I listen to trap music. Because for me, I feel like that's the only way you're going to expand your creativity as an artist, when you're not boxed into like. So I have like a long list of people that inspire me. So yeah.
And you're working on an album now?
I'm working on my second album.
That's incredible.
Don't have the title yet. We always get the title at the end of it all, when we're like, okay, I've done 50 songs, and then these are the songs that we're going to choose, and then we'll come up with the title. But it's a much more lighter, happier note, inspirational as well. So yeah.
And what inspires the content that you're creating for this album? What's it inspired by?
I think it's about everyday experience, everything that we go through as people. Love, loss, happiness. So for me, it's really just speaking about maybe finding love again, celebrating life, inspiring others to get out of the situations that they are in. But finding like a lighter way to try and express it, because I think my first album with Ambitious was quite deep and dark, and funny enough, I thought it was that, but a lot of people actually resonated with the stories that I told with my music. And I still get a lot of women saying, thank you so much for releasing the music that you did, because I got out of a 20-year marriage that was abusive. And it's not just women, it's also men that say, after listening to your album, I want to be a better man in life, in society, in how I treat my family, my friends, women in general. So for me, it was, like I said, better than any accolade I could ever get. So, because I think that's why we make music, to speak to the people and to share our experiences and hope that it actually changes the next person's life.
And would you say that's the reason that you make music, the reason that you are involved in any kind of art in general?
I am actually bad with words, like speaking, so I find it so much better to actually put it into a song. I think I express myself way better, through my music. Even as a child, I've always struggled with like speaking, because there's so many of us at home, and I think also that's how I got my attention from my families, because when there's like 8 of you guys, you have to find a way that makes you stand out. So I've always learned to express myself through my music. Whether I'm sad, whether I'm happy, having a good time, music has always been the one tool that I use to actually express myself.
Would you say that your music reflects your journey in life and your experiences?
I think it reflects the journey of so many people in life, society in general. We all go through ups and downs, and we have the good times, we have the bad times. And so for me, that's why I write my music, is just to share my experience with the world, knowing that they also sometimes go through the same things that we go through. So it's also taking from what other people experience in their life and put it into a song. So yeah.
And in light of the whole R. Kelly incident that's taken over mainstream media, it's kind of opened up an extended dialogue on the conditions that a lot of women live and work under through the lens of your experience.
We're dealing with the Mr. Mafugate. He is on trial for assaulting Cici Twala.
I'm curious to know through your perspective how you see South Africans and the way that South Africans react to this topic, and if you think whether we're supportive enough of women who stand up to men, you know, who are in the situation.
I think for me, we are slowly getting there, but oftentimes it's the people that try and stand up for themselves and speak up for themselves that get re-victimized by society because they are speaking up against something like that. And I think that's why a lot of women refuse to actually come out and speak out about it. They'd rather deal with it in their own space. But for me, I thought it important to, you know, use my social status to address social issues, because I feel like I have to do something that doesn't just benefit me as Cici, but that benefits society as a whole. And I think since I've spoken out about my ordeal, a lot of women have started coming out, and I think I've used my music to actually start a movement. So and I think we need to understand we live in a patriarchal society, and there's always going to be those sexual disparities between men and women. And I think what we are trying to do is trying to find the balance, because what is at play is always power. So I think we're slowly getting there as a country. There will always be people that will have their opinion with regards to a certain topic, but I think we are getting there.
Yeah. What's your definition of a girl boss?
Someone who owns who they are, someone who's not apologetic, someone who sometimes carries the weight of the world on their shoulders and makes it look like wings. So that for me is a definition of a girl boss.
And what makes you a girl boss?
I think what makes me a girl boss is that I've reminded other women that we are actually girl bosses and that we need to support each other more.
Thank you so much for talking to us, and we wish you all the best, and we look forward to your album, and we will see you at the premiere. Yes, we're gonna come see the movie, and I encourage everybody to go see Red Room.